Hi everyone. In our last video, we explored the title of the poem, a doctor's journal entry for August 6, 1945, in depth. If you haven't seen it yet, do watch it, before or after this one, for a better understanding. Now, let's dive into the poem itself, going stanza by stanza to explain its meaning, tone, themes, imagery, and literary devices. Let's begin. Before we begin, let's take a moment to know the poet behind this powerful work, Vikram Seth. He's an acclaimed Indian writer and poet, known for his versatility across genres. Seth often writes about people from different times and places with deep empathy. From novels like A Suitable Boy to poems like this one, his writing combines emotional depth with strong historical and human insight. But his poetry, such as the collection Mappings, is equally impactful. Hiroshima is a modern city on Japan's Honshu Island. On August 6, 1945, it became the first city in history to be hit by a nuclear bomb during World War II. The explosion destroyed most of the city and caused massive loss of life, a tragedy that deeply shapes the poem we are about to explore. The poem is set on the morning of August 6, 1945, when the US dropped the first atomic bomb on Hiroshima. Over 70,000 people died instantly, and thousands more suffered long-term injuries. The poem is not fictional, it draws from survivor accounts, especially those of doctors who had to continue helping others while facing their own trauma. This is a narrative poem told in free verse, without rhyme or meter. It's written as a journal entry by a Japanese doctor. The first-person point of view brings us directly into the moment. It reads like a stream of memories, disoriented, raw, and emotional. The lack of rhyme reflects the sudden horror and confusion after the bomb. Let's begin where the poem begins, with a moment of peace. The doctor is resting, unaware of the catastrophe that's about to unfold. The morning stretched calm, beautiful, and warm. Sprawling half-clad, I gazed out at the form of shimmering leaves and shadows. Suddenly, a strong flash, then another, startled me. The scene opens in complete serenity. The doctor is half-dressed, basking in a warm, calm morning. Nature is alive with shimmering leaves and light. And then, suddenly, two blinding flashes rip through the piece. Imagery, shimmering leaves, strong flash, these give us both beauty and violence. Tone, it starts serene and peaceful, then shifts to one of sudden shock. Theme, contrast between peace and destruction. Unexpectedness of tragedy. Literary devices, alliteration, shimmering, shadows. Juxtaposition, calm nature vs violent flash. As the world shifts under his feet, the doctor struggles to understand what's happening. I saw the old stone lantern brightly lit. Magnesium flares? While I debated it, the roof, the walls and, as it seemed, the world collapsed in timber and debris, dust swirled around me in the garden now and, weird, my drawers and undershirt disappeared. He thinks it might be a magnesium flare, but then, everything collapses. His house is gone, and strangely, even his clothes are blown off. That odd detail highlights the raw, disorienting power of the blast. Imagery, dust swirled, collapsed in timber and debris, chaos. My drawers and undershirt disappeared, bizarre horror. Tone, confused, dazed, surreal. Themes, disorientation during catastrophe. Loss of dignity and normalcy. Devices, hyperbole, the world collapsed. Irony, calm moment disrupted by a catastrophe. Enjambment, keeps the flow chaotic and continuous. Even in pain, the doctor reacts like a professional, calm, analytical, in shock. A splinter jutted from my mangled thigh. My right side bled, my cheek was torn, and I dislodged, detachedly, a piece of glass, all the time wondering what had come to pass. He's physically injured, yet emotionally numb. He removes glass from his body, not with panic, but with eerie calm. This is classic shock, where the body is injured, but the mind can't fully register. Imagery, mangled thigh, piece of glass, physical trauma. Tone, clinical, detached, shocked. Theme, human resilience and shock. Physical pain vs emotional numbness. Devices, alliteration, dislodged, detachedly. Irony, the doctor acts logically in chaos. Let's hear what happens in his words. Where was my wife? Alarmed, I gave a shout. Where are you, Yeko-san? My blood gushed out. the artery in my neck. Scared for my life, I called out, panic-stricken, to my wife. Now panic sets in. He worries for his wife and fears for his life, seeing the blood gush from his neck. The rhetorical question emphasizes how close he is to death. We also see love and fear powerfully interlinked here. Imagery, my blood gushed out. Urgency, life-threatening. Tone, frightened, desperate. Theme, love and human connection in tragedy. Survival instinct. Devices, rhetorical question, the artery in my neck? Direct speech adds realism. Now, let's look at the lines from the poem that show this moment. Pale, blood-stained, frightened, Yeko-san emerged, holding her elbow. We'll be fine, I urged. Let's get out quickly. Stumbling to the street. We fell, tripped by something at our feet. Yeko-san, his wife, appears, frightened but alive. They try to escape but trip over something. This suspenseful moment leads us into deeper horror. The tone mixes brief hope with dread. Imagery, blood-stained, stumbling, tripped, struggle and confusion. Tone, hopeful but fearful. Theme, hope in disaster. Injury and chaos. Devices, alliteration, pale, blood-stained. Dialogue, builds emotional realism. They tripped, and what they tripped on was something unimaginable. I gasped out, when I saw it was a head. Excuse me, please excuse me, he was dead. A gate had crushed him. There we stood, afraid. A house standing before us tilted, swayed, toppled, and crashed. Fire sprang up in the dust. The doctor realizes they tripped over a severed head. In shock, he even apologizes to the dead man. Around them, buildings collapse. Fire explodes out of the dust. The world is falling apart. Imagery, fire sprang up in the dust, apocalyptic. A house, tilted, swayed, instability. Tone, horrified, overwhelmed. Theme, destruction of life and infrastructure. Death is a sudden interruption. Devices, juxtaposition, excuse me, vs dead man. Onomatopoeia, crashed. In the middle of chaos, duty calls. He knows he must reach the hospital. Spread by the wind. It dawned on us we must get to the hospital. We needed aid. And I should help my staff too. Though this made sense to me then, I wonder how I could. The fire spreads fast. They know they need help, but the doctor also feels a pull of responsibility to help others. Later, he can't believe he had the strength to think that way. Imagery, spread by the wind, fire, threat. Tone, determined yet reflective. Themes, duty and responsibility. Moral courage under trauma. Devices, parenthesis shows later introspection. Foreshadowing more hardship ahead. His body is failing, but bit by bit, he pushes through. My legs gave way. I sat down on the ground. Thirst seized me, but no water could be found. My breath was short, but bit by bit my strength seemed to revive, and I got up at length. He collapses, overwhelmed by thirst, pain, and exhaustion. Yet the will to survive pulls him back up. This is quiet, human resilience. Imagery, thirst seized me, bit by bit, the body fighting to recover. Tone, exhausted but resilient. Theme, resilience in adversity. Survival. Devices, personification, thirst seized me. Alliteration, bit by bit my strength. In this world stripped of dignity, a stranger shows kindness. I was still without clothes, but I felt no shame. This thought disturbed me somewhat, till I came upon a soldier, standing silently, who gave the towel round his neck to me. He's naked, but in the face of mass suffering, shame feels irrelevant. A silent soldier hands him a towel. No words, just shared humanity. Imagery, towel round his neck, simple act of humanity. Tone, ashamed, then grateful. Theme, loss of social norms in crisis. Human kindness in ruins. Devices, irony, no shame in public nakedness altered values. Symbolism, the towel represents compassion. His body lags. He sends his wife ahead, and feels the pain of separation. My legs, stiff with dried blood, rebelled. I said to Yeko-san she must go on ahead. She did not wish to, but in our distress. What choice had we? A dreadful loneliness came over me when she had gone. My mind ran at high speed, my body crept behind. His legs won't cooperate, so he urges Yeko-san to go ahead. When she leaves, he feels isolated, even though they're only steps apart. His mind is racing, but his body drags behind. Imagery, my mind ran, my body crept, contrast between thought and physical weakness. Tone, lonely, reflective. Theme, separation during tragedy. Mental vs physical endurance. Devices, personification, legs rebelled. Juxtaposition, fast mind, slow body. He sees the survivors, not people anymore. Shadows, ghosts. I saw the shadowy forms of people, some were ghosts, some scarecrows, all were wordless dumb. Arms stretched straight out, shoulder to dangling hand. It took some time for me to understand. The friction on their burns caused so much pain. They feared to chafe flesh against flesh again. The people look like ghosts or scarecrows, silent, burned, dehumanized. Their arms are outstretched not in surrender, but to avoid touching their raw skin. Their silence speaks volumes. Imagery, scarecrows, ghosts, arms stretched, haunting visuals. Tone, haunting, compassionate. Theme, suffering and dehumanization. Silent endurance. Devices, metaphor, ghosts, scarecrows. Visual imagery, highly graphic. People shuffle silently, a woman and child cross his path. Naked, still silent. Those who could, shuffled in a blank parade. Towards the hospital, I saw, dismayed, a woman with a child stand in my path. Both without clothes. Had they come back from the bath? He sees survivors walking wordlessly, like zombies. A woman and child are completely naked. His dazed mind tries to rationalize, had they just come from the bath? But we know, it's from the blast. Imagery, blank parade, emotionless, zombie-like movement. Tone, shocked, disoriented. Theme, mass trauma, loss of identity. Devices, metaphor, blank parade. Irony, thinks they came from the bath. And slowly, it dawns on him. No one has clothes. The silence is universal. I turned my gaze, but was at a loss. That she should stand thus, till I came across a man without clothes, and now the thought arose that some strange thing had stripped us of our clothes. The face of an old woman on the ground was marred with suffering, but she made no sound. Silence was common to us all. I heard no cries of anguish, or a single word. Explanation. He finally understands, the bomb didn't just take lives, it took voices, identities, modesty. An old woman lies in pain, but doesn't even cry out. There are no screams, just silence. This is a shared, universal agony. Imagery, marred with suffering, no sound, emotional numbness. Tone, quiet, haunting, tragic. Theme, collective trauma and silence. Loss of language in the face of pain. Devices, repetition, no sound, no cries, emphasizes silence. Symbolism, silence equals emotional death. A doctor's journal entry for August 6, 1945, isn't just a poem. It's a reminder of how humanity can be torn apart in an instant, and how, even in the rubble, there remains resilience, love, and duty. Vikram Seth gives a voice to the voiceless, so that we do not forget. Thank you. Questions? Drop them in the comments. See you in the next one.